welcome back to our channel. This is Science Lectures 256. Don't forget to like, subscribe and follow. You can also share with your friends, tell them there is good news at this juncture. You can also follow us on Twitter, currently called X, at Science Lectures 256. We also have a WhatsApp channel at Science Lectures 256 where we can meet and have a share of ideas. So today we are going to look at the last class of dicots. And remember, we said according to the Bentham and Hooker system of classification, dicots were divided into three: polypetally, which we discussed earlier, apetally, and gamopetally. So we've discussed polypetally and apetally. If you've not yet watched those videos, please do so. So today we are going to look at the last class, which is gamopetally. So we said these classes were divided based on the characters of the petals. Polypetally had many and free petals. Apetally had no petals. The gamopetally have a distinction between the calyx and the corolla. However, we are looking at the corolla, which are the petals. These petals are fused. Gamo means fused. So all the families that we are going to discuss under this subclass have fused petals, and gamopetally is considered to be the most advanced amongst the dicots. In our earlier videos, we said that movement in plant evolution, we moved from free to many to fused and less floral parts. So gamopetally is the most advanced class amongst the dicots, and it has very many families. Families like Asteraceae, which is what we are going to discuss today. Asteraceae is the sunflower family. Families like Rubiaceae is the coffee family. We have families like Convolucaceae, which is where we shall see things like the sweet potatoes. We have Solanaceae is where we shall see things like Solanum tuberosum, which is your common Irish potato. So today we are going to discuss family Asteraceae. So family Asteraceae is called so because the largest genus is Aster. So that is why the family derives its name, and it is the largest angiosperm family. Having over 23,000 species. So this is the largest angiosperm family. When I say angiosperm, I mean flowering plants. So it is the largest family amongst the flowering plants, and we said it derives its name from the largest genus, which is Aster. It was formerly called Compositae, but with a new APG, the name was changed to be called Asteraceae. So this family, since we've said it is the largest family, it is, by the way, before you forget, it is also known as the sunflower family, because this is where we shall see the sunflowers. So this family is found in a variety of places. It is found within the deserts, it is found within water, it is found on land, it is found within swamps, so it is almost found everywhere. The members have adopted various mechanisms to enable them to suit the various habitats, and that is their habitat. Then they are majorly herbs. And these herbs are either annual or perennial. We said annual crops are the ones that grow and reproduce within 1 year, and perennial crops are crops that grow and reproduce of more than a period of a year. So they are herbs which are annual or perennial. But however, some are shrubs. Some have a shrub-like appearances. For example, Helianthus annus, which is the sunflower. However, some are also trees. trees. Some are also trees. For example, members of genus Senecio, and this is found on highlands. In your earlier levels, you must have discussed zonation on a mountain, and they told you that some crop species and plant species are found at a certain height. So members of genus Senecio grow on mountains but at a specific height, and as we shall be discussing later with the importances, these members act as indicators of a certain altitude. So some are herbs, others are shrubs, some are trees. However, some are mesophytes, and others are xerophytes. Mesophytes are areas that grow in areas with moderate water content. Xerophytes are plants that grow within areas that have less water content. The best example here are the members of Senecio. Up there on the mountain, the water content tends to be low. So that is it for the habit. Now I want us to discuss the stem. Yes, their stem is made up of a rhizome. Some have rhizomes. Then their roots, sometimes their roots are modified from root tubers. Then others have woody rootstocks. Woody rootstocks, whereby you find a root almost looking like the stem. It is thickened, it undergoes secondary thickening. Those are what we call the woody root stalks. After having discussed the stem and the roots, I want us to look at the leaves. So these ones are they have simple leaves. What I have here is a leaf of a member of family Asteraceae. I hope you can see. This is a simple leaf. This is also another leaf from members of family Asteraceae. This is also a simple leaf. However, sometimes these leaves are palmately lobed. They are palmately lobed. As you can see, this one, it is like it is almost divided. They are palmately lobed. So you can see this is a lobe, and this is a lobe, but this is still a simple leaf. They are palmately lobed and they are not completely divided to form compound leaves. So these leaves are divided but not completely divided to form compound leaves. That is number one. Then sometimes they have what we call auricles. So auricles are ear-like appendages. They are ear-like appendages, and they usually arise within the leaf axils. Then they are exstipulate. So as we discussed earlier in members of family Malvaceae, for them they have stipules, most of them. But members of this family Asteraceae don't have any stipules, and if they don't have stipules, we say they are exstipulate. Then, since they are dicots, they exhibit reticulate leaf venation. Which is commonly known as network leaf venation. However, there is a certain genus called Corymbium that has parallel leaf venation. So they are simple leaves, and their margins actually are usually entire, or sometimes they can be divided. And their margins usually tend to have woolly hairs, and sometimes they can have prickly hairs. So that is it all about the leaf. Next, I want us to look at the inflorescence. So, very important note that the inflorescence of this family is the most distinguishing feature. The inflorescence is made up of a cluster of flowers. However, it is usually mistaken to be a single flower. For example, when you look at this flower looks to be one, but it is a group of flowers. We have flowers in between here, and we have flowers on the briefly. All these are different florets or flowers. Then still the inflorescence can appear like this. We have flowers in between here, and we have flowers that are growing on the periphery. I hope you can see clearly. All these are flowers extracted from members of family Asteraceae. And this type of inflorescence is what we call a capitulum. A capitulum. A capitulum. A capitulum. So, a capitulum is an inflorescence found in members of family Asteraceae, and it is an aggregation of different flowers. But I repeat, it is usually mistaken for a single flower. When you look at a sunflower, you can think that that is one flower, yet it is a merger or conglomeration of different types of flowers. As you can see, this one that I am having next to me, we have flowers on the periphery and we have flowers in the interior. So we say the inflorescence is a capitulum, and this capitulum is subtended by an involucre, of bracts, which may be free or fused. The bracts may be free or fused, and they can be one to many. So within at the back of this flower, the involucre, the bracts were removed, but you would have seen them clearly. What we see, they are here, but I don't know, they are not very clear. But behind here, the flower, we tend to have leaf-like structures behind here, and they are what we call the bracts. The bracts, I would say, they can be many, as you are seeing in this flower, or they can be one, and they can be free or fused. Then, however, the bracts not only subtend the inflorescence, even the individual flowers tend to have their own bracts, and the bracts that subtend the flowers are what you call the palea. So each individual flower is subtended by a bract, and that bract is called a palea. However, in some cases the bract might be present or it might be absent on the individual flowers, but the inflorescence has an involucre of bracts. Then this capitulum, I said it is a conglomeration of different types of flowers. So it is made up of different types of flowers. On number one, it is made up of what they call ligulate flowers, and it is also made up of what they call disc flowers, or what they call tubular flowers. Then these are what they call ray flowers, or sometimes we call them ray florets. So we come back to our flower. These that you see that look like wings are actually ligulate flowers. These are ligulate flowers, and these that you see that look like tubes are what we call the disc flowers or the tubular flowers. And we are going to see how do they arrive to their name. So this, we said it is made up of ligulate flowers, which ligulate flowers you've seen, and these flowers are what we call tubular flowers. And these flowers are born on a receptacle. They are born on the receptacle. And the receptacle tends to have different shapes and sizes. Sometimes you can find when it is concave, sometimes you can find when it is flat. And here we have our flowers arising from it. Sometimes you can find when it is flat. And the receptacle is a very important, it is a good character. In fact, it is a very good diagnostic character in distinguishing the various genuses and species among its members of this family. So after having seen the inflorescence, I want us to look at the individual flowers. We've said the inflorescence is made up of two types. If I forget, the capitulum can be ligulated. It can be made up of only ligulated flowers. Or it can be made up of only tubular flowers. So when it is made up of only ligulate flowers or tubular flowers, we call it a homogamous capitulum. And when it is made up of both ligulate flowers and tubular flowers, we call it a heterogamous capitulum. A heterogamous capitulum. Heterogamous capitulum. Yes. So those are things I need to emphasize. When it is made up of one type of flower, we call it a homogamous. It can be made up of ligulate flowers only or tubular flowers. But when it is made up of both types of flowers, we say it is a heterogamous capitulum. So after having seen those important terms, I want us to look at the individual flowers. Let's begin with the disc flowers and disc flowers, or what they call tubular flowers. Tubular flowers. Tubular flowers. So what we have here is the outer structure of a disc flower. Yes, and for every flower we need to know the corolla. The corolla. But before actually we get to the corolla, we need to first discuss about the calyx. The calyx. Another diagonistic character or good character of this family is their calyx. Their calyx is modified to form a structure called papius. Papius. So their calyx, which is the outermost soul, is modified from papius. That is why when we beginning we say that members of gamopetali have a distinct corolla and calyx. Their calyx is modified to form a structure called papius. And this papius has different forms. It can be hairy, or it can be toothed. It can be toothed, or it can be scaly. And it is hairy in members of the genus Senecio. Then it is toothed in the members of genus Bidens, which is common, where we find Bidens glossa, that is commonly known as black jack. Then it can be scaly in members of genus Galisonga. Galisonga is where we find Galisonga parviflora, that is a common animal feed. So the calyx is modified to form papius. The papius can be hairy, toothed, or scaly. And why is it modified? It will assist in dispersal of the fruit. Then, after having seen the calyx, we look at the corolla, or the petals. So we are looking at gamopetali, and we said members of this family have fused petals. So these petals are fused together to form a tube. They are fused together to form a tube. However, this tube terminates into lobes. It terminates into lobes at the tip. On top of that, it terminates into lobes at the tip. Then this corolla is actinomorphic. And the corolla is usually 5 fused. What you have here these are our corolla. And we say it is from down here. This is the corolla tube. However, they terminate into lobes. These are the lobes that you are seeing, and it is actinomorphic. Actinomorphic means having very many lines of symmetry. Then these things that look like hairs are actually what we call the papius. And we say the papius is a modified calyx. The corolla fused to form a tube that terminates into lobes, and it is actinomorphic and are usually 5. So next we look at the stamens. So the stamens are usually 5, and their number correlates with the corolla. So they are usually 5, that is number 1. Then they are protandrous. They have protandrous anthers. So protandrous anthers are anthers that develop before the gynoecium develops. In other words, these anthers grow faster before the gynoecium grows. And since they grow faster, they shed their pollen into the style. However, shedding their pollen into the style does not necessitate that they will undergo self-fertilization. The styles are unreceptive to the pollen grain. That is why the style will later grow to allow cross-fertilization, as we shall be seeing members of are either wind pollinated or insect pollinated. So they are protandrous, then they are epipetalous. The stamens are epipetalous. And we say the epipetalous means arising from the base of the petals. Then the filaments are fused. The filaments are also fused to form a tube. The filaments are also fused to form a tube. They are fused to form a tube. So what you see here is the filament tube. The filament tube. So the filaments, which are the stalks of the anthers, are fused to form a tube. Then the anthers may have an appendage, and sometimes they are either rounded, at the bottom, or they are tailed, or sometimes they can be pointed. That is it for the stamens. I want us to look at the gynoecium of tubular flowers. But before I forget, these tubular flowers can either be bisexual or female. I repeat, they can either be bisexual or female. And the gynoecium, which is the female reproductive part of a flower, is made up of an inferior ovary. And sometimes, if it is not called an inferior ovary, it can be called an epigynous ovary. It is made up of an epigynous ovary, and we say the inferior ovary is the one that grows below other floral holes. And you can see the calyx is on top, the corolla is on top, the stamen is also on top. So this is our inferior ovary. Then it is unilocular. That means it is just made up of one locule. Then it has many. It is made up of one ovule. Then the style is bifid. So when you look here, we have our style divided into two parts. So this is our style, and these are the two parts of the style. Then since it is bifid, this structure here, the inner structures of the style are the ones that form the stigma. The inner structures of the style form the stigma. The inner structures of the style form the stigma. Inner structures of the style form the stigma. So what is it for the gynoecium of the disky flowers? However, their fruit is a cypocella. That is it for the tubular flowers. So next we look at the ligulate flowers. We say the ligulate flowers are the ones that you find at the periphery of the inflorescence, or the ones that you find at the periphery of the capitulum. This is an individual ligulate flower, and it is what we are going to discuss next. So we said for every flower we are going to be discussing the calyx. So just as we've seen in these flowers, these ones, their calyx is also modified to form papius. Their calyx is modified to form papius, and we say the role of papius is to aid in seed dispersal. Then their corolla. I'll keep reminding you that we are looking at members of gamopetal. So their corolla are fused. However, in this case, their corolla are fused to form a short tube. And that tube can be prolonged. It can be prolonged to form a tongue-like structure. Called a ligule. Tongue-like structure called a ligule. So this one here is what we call a ligule, and this is our calyx or papius. So this is our ligule, and this is our papius. Then this ligule can be narrow, or broad. This is depending on the various genus and species. Then it terminates into lobes. It has clear lobes. It has clear lobes at the tip. So when you observe back into my flower here, let me try to zoom in. When you observe into my flower here, it is terminating into lobes. Terminating into lobes. Things that look like tooth, like appendages. If you want to see more of how red flowers look like, please look for Helianthus anus, which is the sunny flower. So it terminates into lobes. Then there are corolla, unlike the others which we say that are actinomorphic. These ones have zygomorphic corolla. Zygomorphic corolla. Zygomorphic corolla. Zygomorphic corolla means that it has only one line of symmetry. If I obtain an individual floret, I can only tear it into one piece, one equal portion. One equal portion. And this is the line of symmetry we are meaning. They are zygomorphic. Then they also have an inferior ovary. They have an inferior ovary which is also unilocular, and this is our ovary. And this is the style. Then they have a bifid stigma. Have a bifid stigma, and these are our anthers. Then the ligulate, we say tubular flowers can be bisexual or female. Ligulate flowers can be sterile or female. They can be sterile or female. And in most cases, ligulate flowers have been noted to form fruits called achins. So that is it for the ligulate flowers. Next, I want us to discuss the fruits. Let's talk about the fruits of these flowers. 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 So, members of Asteraceae can form homogamous fruits. A fruit from one type of flowers. However, they can also form what we call heteromorphic fruits. Heteromorphic fruits. Heteromorphic fruits. Heteromorphic fruits. And you look at if this is our inflorescence, if this is our inflorescence, yes, you will find that the tubular flowers in between here shall form a different type of fruit, and the red florets also shall form a different type of fruit. And when they come together, they form what we call a heteromorphic fruit. But we say tubular flowers can form cypsela. Others can form achins, like in Helianthus anus. Then, and some flowers, in some members can form fruits that are windy, dispersed, and others can form fruits that are animal dispersed. For example, if you can remember, members of Biden's pedosa that have hooks that attach on skins or passing mammals aid in DC puzzle. I will continue reminding you, this is how the inflorescence of members of this family looks like. So what I have here is a fruit. It is a fruit, and you can see that the fruit almost looks like a cluster of different flowers. I can't obtain an individual fruit here because it is attached together, but this is the fruit, and it has tooth like appendages. That means when your eye or an animal is passing, it will attach on your skin, and you will take it and throw it somewhere, shall release the seeds to form a new plant. So that is it for the general characteristics of members of family Asteraceae. Till next time.